seeing links then, and the papers would be screaming about it. But they're not. They're not now. Not about these kids. Now, there's a lot of stories, and honestly, please look at Not My Debt. The pressure these people have been put under, it needs to be a national thing.
Yeah, and as much as we're talking about sort of what happened to me and our family, I'm not some special snowflake. My story is so common. Like, incredibly common. So common that I'm just your basic white girl with mental illness on Centrelink. So common.
Yeah. And you got to remember, this covers a hell of a lot of demographics. This is covering women over 50 who are almost homeless now because, circumstance. They've never had superannuation. It covers disabled people, or people they think aren't disabled enough. Got to love that, not disabled enough. It covers men. It covers women. It covers
cancer
young
patients.
people. Yeah, cancer patients. I mean, do you have any idea what it is like to be fighting cancer? I mean, most of us know someone who's been fighting cancer. They're getting chemotherapy, and you've still got Centrelink harassing you about a debt. I mean, it's bad enough they harass you, full stop, because they're still harassing you. They're still saying, well, you haven't had chemo for a week or 2 weeks, so you should be going for jobs. Like, I shit you not, that is the attitude.
Or you let them know that you went for a certain amount of jobs and they're like, oh, we misplaced that, you need to let us know again. Or, oh, we didn't get your pay slips this week. Oh, we didn't get whatever. Oh, the app crashed, we couldn't read that. Sorry, you're not getting paid this week. It's endless. And it is constant stress. Like, being on Centrelink alone is so stressful. Like, I don't know, like, I went back on Centrelink so that I could study, which is a whole other thing because of the whole having chronic pain and stuff. Basically, the TLDR is the only jobs that I'm qualified or able to do, because I can use my brain and not my hand, are jobs that require degrees, as I was told by years of just being unemployed and trying to get jobs. And, I was told that even if I just got a biomed degree, literally any degree would do for a lot of the jobs. And so I had to go on Centrelink so that I could study and all that jazz. And it was so stressful. It almost wrecked me again. Like, my health suffered so much. It was just absolutely the worst. Yeah. And that was just being on Centrelink.
Well, we'd spent a couple of years working with doctors, like a range of doctors, to get Caitlin back to, at least a level playing field, where she could think about starting uni again. Within 6 months of being on Centrelink, she was almost exactly where she'd been 2 years earlier. Like, Centrelink was physically, it was killing her. And it was killing us, like, to be around watching her. So we ended up sort of biting the bullet, and even though my husband and I can't afford it, we help support her while she's at uni, even though she's not living around, because it is better than her being on Centrelink. I want my daughter here in a year's time, and that just wasn't going to happen. Like, her mental health was spiraling so badly.
And by support, like, mum means that, like, she gave me a job. They don't just give me money. It's a job. And the thing about all this is that it's really easy to turn around and sort of be like, it's easy when you don't know the face of the people that are suffering on Centrelink. It's easy when you don't know who they are, you don't know what their story is, and most people are too afraid to tell their story because Centrelink has royally effed people over in the past for criticising Centrelink. And I personally feel like I've survived Centrelink. I feel like I'm really lucky to still be here after everything that's happened in the last 6 years. And I feel like because I am lucky for this, it's my duty to share my story. I've got somewhat of a platform. I'm able to do this. I'm smart enough and articulate enough to be able to talk about this to people. And I feel like it's really easy for a lot of people to dismiss the people that are suffering from robo-debt as basically thinking that they're weak. And that's not the case. And I feel like anyone who's seen me on Twitter, at the very least, knows that I'm not some weak-minded failure of a person sort of person that people seem to label people on Centrelink as. And I almost, succumb to the pressure of Centrelink, and that was before robo-debt was even a thing. That was pre-robo-debt.
So you're talking about a lot of people who are under this sort of pressure before they start getting harassed for something that in a lot of cases they probably don't even know. Nearly 20% of the debts that go out aren't even legit debts. It's just a shitty algorithm. And they know it's a shitty algorithm. They don't care. And
they've known for years. It's 2019 and it was, implemented in 2016.
And they put the onus on you to prove that you don't know it. I mean, who does that? I mean, that's like Foxtel or whatever sending you a bill and you going, no, and them going, prove it? Like, no one would cop that. This is seriously a government phishing exercise. If any other business did this, like fair trading would be on them so quickly, ACCC would be shutting them down. And this is our government doing it. Now, the official figure is 17% of debts being wiped. I actually think the official figure of debt is a lot higher than that, because just anecdotally, people I've spoken to on Twitter who have paid it because it was easier. It was killing them, trying to deal with Centrelink, trying to prove this, trying to contact someone they worked for 7 years ago. It was just too difficult, hanging on the phone for 45 minutes when
minimum
they're actually employed now, and then their boss is getting cranky at them, so then they've got to hang up, but then because they didn't get back to Centrelink in time. I mean, it's a nightmare. So I actually reckon the figure is a lot higher than 17% of debts that are incorrect, where people just go, okay, I'm earning money now, I don't care, just get out of my face.
And while we've been talking about this, I've got a friend sort of DMing me privately, because we look at Twitter, so if you want to talk to us, hashtag Auspol Live or Auspol Grounded. I got a friend sort of DMing me saying that it's too stressful for her to listen to this because she's in a very similar position as to what I was in and what many of us are in on Centrelink. So even, hence why we had our trigger warning before, that even just sort of talking about this for those that are suffering the most is really hard, which is why people like us that are able to talk about it need to. And I want to, like we already mentioned Asha and Lindsay before, but I want to just re-mention them again because they're doing amazing work. So Lindsay started the @not_my_debt on Twitter, which is just where she's collating all the stories of the hashtag #NotMyDebt.
And they provide support by telling people where they can go for various community legal support.
And Asha Wolf, who I think we've talked about in maybe every single podcast we've ever recorded in the last 2 years.
Because Asha's just awesome.
Because Asha's amazing. I love Asha. She tweets so many really insightful things about Centrelink. She's really on the ball with what's happening with stats and what's going on with deaths, and she gets a lot of people, because she's got like 80,000 followers, she gets lots of people telling her their stories. And she tweeted the other day that she thinks that these numbers are really incorrect because the amount of times, every single time she tweets about Centrelink, the amount of people that tweet at her saying, my brother killed himself because of this, my sister, my mum, my kid, my whatever, like the amount of people every single time she tweets that say that them or someone they knew were in this situation, it's absolutely astonishing. Like it's so much more than people think it is.
And what we'd really like to highlight, and the Andy Fox thing showed that last week, the government is allowed, if you've got your data with the government is allowed to dox you. It is allowed to do whatever they like to you. They can cut you off. Okay, so not only is anyone on Centrelink being treated like shit, they're also voiceless. Okay, they cannot stand up. They are scared. You can't, even if you thought about turning around and putting out an ad in the paper or trying to raise the issue of your plight, you will get doxed by the government. And the Privacy Commissioner, who that's a big joke with the government, has said that's legit. They're allowed to do that. So they've okayed that. They can turn around and tell Fairfax, hey, this whinging cow will blah, blah, blah with the husband 5 years ago, because they've got all these details. So anyone dealing with Centrelink is so shit scared of either repercussions or having their Centrelink cut off. Yeah. Just for talking out. So it's up to everyone else, please, honestly, it is up to everyone else, please, to take on this plight. You may not be on Centrelink, okay? But you may be one day. You don't know that. You may be one day. Someone that you talk to all the time on Twitter could be on Centrelink and they're keeping up a brave face and you don't even know that. But they can't say anything because they're scared of repercussions. So it is up to all of us, please, to every journalist you know or you speak to or you'll get on with, say, hey, can we please get this up a higher priority?
Yeah.
Every MP you know, please, if you belong to Labor, if you belong to Liberal, if you belong to the Greens, it doesn't matter who you... Cory bloody Bernardi's, weird party. It doesn't matter, okay? Try to speak to them, raise it as an issue, because unless everyone starts talking about it and speaks for these people, okay? ACOS, no one's listening to them. There's Jeremy Paxson on Twitter who tries, but again, no one's listening to them. There is actually an Australian Unemployed Workers Union. They've been trying, but hey, ABC or the Drums are not going to have them on. No. They all like to talk about this as an academic thing, okay? It's not. Unemployment, underemployment, and people on Centrelink are being treated appallingly in this nation, and they are voiceless. So please think about it, and, if you can, help amplify it, help to get some attention.
I made a tweet yesterday that I wrote a story about robo-debt for uni from one of my subjects, and it got marked down. I mean, it got marked down for legitimate reasons as well, but the main reason it was marked down was because it was not considered newsworthy and that I didn't get Centrelink's point of view. And the people that I interviewed when I was talking about robo-debt, and my political news story was about a grassroots campaign being able to shed light on this really important issue and discovering the problem, I interviewed Asher Wolf, Lindsay, who is the one who, started Not My Debt, and I interviewed someone who used to work for the government, for the ATO, and it was considered not newsworthy. And that was in May of 2017, just a few months after it all broke. And Stripey's on... So basically, everyone who retweeted that and liked that and whatever... It's the onus is on you now to actually try and spread that and talk about these issues more. And like Stripey's on Twitter just tweeted at us, I have to ask, is the government actually trying to kill off poor people?
It feels like it.
It does. It feels like it. Not just poor, like poor, sick, not able-bodied.
Had an accident on a work site.
Changed
your life. Got flicked for the younger version as a wife. There's a lot of that. Yeah,
and what bothers me is that, like, how many people on Centrelink are LNP voters?
I don't know.
There would be a lot. Like, it's not like it's not that divided. And like someone else tweeted just before that, I missed it, but they tweeted that Centrelink was shit under Labor and LNP.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Like,
It's gotten worse under LNP, so we're back to that worse and worse era.
But what didn't get worse under LNP? It
has to be a problem. I mean, ALP are talking about doing a review. It's like, but then again, they know they can get away with it because you look at this. This came out yesterday. Over 2,000 people have died. Don't know about you, but I mean, Bill Shorten did a press conference. Not one journo asked him about it.
Yeah. It's just not a priority to people. They'd rather talk about things that scare people, and this is scary to me. This is real.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier to talk about scary things that aren't real.
Yes.
Yeah, so please everyone, we're virtue signaling or whatever the hell they want to call it. We like to think it's just being decent people. Please support people who are on Centrelink, and really please speak for those who can't speak. This government is vindictive. They have shown it before in the past. They will do so again.
And just take a moment, if you catch yourself about to call someone a dole bludger, just take a moment to question, think about it yourself. Like, why are they on the dole? Because you don't know. You have no idea why. Like, even if they're a drug addict who did a whole bunch of stuff and they're, thieves or whatever, you still don't know what brought them to do that.
You don't know how they got there.
So we just need a little bit of compassion. We need to be a little more chill, and we just need to fight for the little guy or the people that can't fight about this stuff. Same when we were talking about sexual assault allegations, there are a lot of people that normally would fight for political stuff but have to tap out on that one. And with Centrelink, there are a lot of political justice people that would love to shout about their